So it is not something subject to whether I hate him. No, when I say trouble, I just felt he is talking too much, not like an emir that I normally know from a history bin.
All right.
They will call Jonathan government better than Buhari government. The peak offense. Somebody who you invite all the way from Kano, and he told you the truth, and he gave you a roadmap, and you said he talked too much.
Which truth today? The dollar is 1,400. It almost reached 200,000.
You have your own say. You allow the majority to take our own way.
Wallahi wannan kawukan wasu shanu ne aka yanka a cikin Northwest, an fito tafiya mota ta lalace. Yalla bai, yalla a wani can ya ibu nasa guda biyu. Mutumi na sadaka ce? Kai ba kai kai biyu na samu. Kai biyu? Wallahi tallahi. Sadaka ce ko kuwa? A'a ba namu ne da. Me ya faru to? Mota ce a Northwest aka yanka da gwamnati suka lalace. Ka ga da mutane suke yi ba? Masha Allah, an yi layya. Kai Allah ya kyauta. Kai. Yalla bai sadaka ce? Sadaka ce aka yi nan. Kowa yake diba mutuwa. A'a. Inna lillahi wa inna wallahi kayan gwamnati ne. Yalla bai sadaka ce wannan? Sadaka ce? Yalla bai sadaka ce wannan? Wallahi ba sadaka bace. Ko za ka yi biyar ranka dade? Amin ce me ne? Ai yi bada iba an tafi da wasu.
We'll begin this conversation first taking our quote from Jacques Diop, who once said, "Hunger is not an issue of charity, it is an issue of justice." Okay, and my next quote is from Pearl Buck, who once said that a hungry man can't see right or wrong, he just sees food. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We are reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabel Orji. Now let's see how those quotes relate to what we'll be discussing today. We'll turn our attention to quite a number of matters that we're discussing today. We're looking at not only the state of the nation, but the mood of the nation, especially today, from the north, the east, the west, or the southern part of the country. But we'll start with the northern part of the country. Did you see that video where you had people who burgled and stole meat or cow head, cow leg, cow parts from? It happened in the north, especially exactly in Kano State. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll go straight to talk about other matters where the Vice President Kashim Shettima says, and quote, the Sultan of Sokoto should be protected by all means. Why exactly did he make that statement? You might find out today on the show today. And also, we'll talk about the Northwest Security Summit that just ended. How far will that even solve or ameliorate the security challenges, especially not only in the Northwest or in the northern part of the country, but also in Nigeria generally? And maybe we'll also look at it, how it can ameliorate the situation in Africa. Then we'll talk about some other matters. So let's begin this conversation. And my first guest on the show today is Hassan Sardauna, who is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show, Hassan Sardauna.
Thank you very much, Annabel, for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
all right, now for there, we move straight to my next guest, who is Habib Gajo. He is a political economist. He is a bureau de change operator. Great to have you on the show, Habib Gajo.
Thanks for having me, Annabel.
Great.
Will I say good morning? Like
good morning.
Maybe he's saying afternoon or you know, Kano and Jigawa people. Let me leave it like that.
Yeah, our younger brothers.
Barka da Sallah.
Thank you very much. Barka da Sallah.
Okay, just because he mentioned Kano, we're also looking at the Kano Emirate Tussle. Remember, we had that a debate some time ago, and I promised that we're going to bring the part 2 or the serial 2 of that debate to see how exactly, what is the update and what can help change that matter. All right, before we go straight to other matters, gentlemen, we'll start with, I'm sure you must have seen the video of where they were moving cows and then people stealing, and then someone says people are hungry. It will get worse, so brace yourselves for worse days ahead. But then some people says don't justify crime with hunger. We'll start with you, Hassan Sardauna. Is that crime or hunger?
It is a crime in the sense that it was on Saturday, very close to the Northwest University gate. Okay, so you can just help us, tell us how all of it started, because we've been seeing so many different perspectives to that story. Some people say the vehicle was damaged and then people started stealing. Some people said no, those people who were taking those cow heads, they were butchering, they were killing those cows immediately inside the vehicle. And I'm wondering, there'll be blood everywhere. So how exactly did this happen? I know the cow was faulty. It was among the trucks that were carrying or conveying the meat from where it was killed at Bayero University, Kano premises. And it is been donated by Turkish embassy. Okay. And they have been doing that almost everywhere in some part of the country through kind of, what do we call it, donation to the less privileged citizens that were going to have Salah without meat and whatever. So they normally have that committees in every state. Even here in FCT, they had that program. So it's also there in Kano. So they are done with the Bayero University, Kano, where they shares the first stage. They were heading to Northwest University. And that truck was among the trucks that were on the way to the university. What happened was it faulty. So when it got fault, it stopped. If you look at most of the food, the meat that were picked or stolen by the ordinary citizens there, they are either cow head or cow legs or those part of meat, because they have divided it, shared it into different, the cow legs and the skin and whatever used to be in the different trucks. The legs of the cows, the back legs used to be in different truck. Likewise, the front legs and whatever part of other part, intestine and others. So they were in number about 8 trucks. So there were people were there inside waiting to be to start having their gifts or donation given by the Turkish embassy. But somehow, when this one had a faulty situation, so people just gather around it and start stealing the meat. And if you look at, there was this Hizbah personnel who was interviewed in the video, where somebody was asking him in Hausa that is it this one, is it sadaka, is it a gift? He said no, it is not a gift. They are stealing the meat. Hadn't been they have waited until when it reached where it will going to be shared. So it has become a sadaka. That is what do we call it? A giveaway. But so long it is on the way, they are not the ones that have the committee members that were shouldered to do those that work are doing it. So when somebody said because that is a hunger, no, it's not a hunger, it's a crime act.
So was there no way the sorry, I have to brought in. Was there no way that Hizbah official or any security official could have stopped? Because I also saw a policeman there. Yes. So is it like turn a blind eye to things like that? The number of people that are there, you can't stop it, because people were very many. If you try to stop them, how would you stop them? You are there without maybe anything to show up. They have tried to do that right from inception, but they overpowered the Hizbah and the policemen that were escorting the truck. So at last, they have to surrender and allow them to do what they want. That means to steal those very fair meats. And I can't assess that to be a kind of hunger
leaded to that very, yeah, it might be there is hungry, but this is a festivity or festive period that all Muslims used to witness annually in the day of Arafat, that is Hajj, after they have did Arafat a day, after Arafat, that is turning day for Satan. So that day here, we in the other global world, we will do our own sacrifice, killing cows, camel, goats, sheep, whatever, those that are being, what do we call it, sacred ones that have been mentioned in the Islam, that you can kill them for that sacrifice. So, but instead, it was there already in the history. It's not everybody kill or slaughter a ram or a camel. There are those who cannot afford. And it is stated in the Quran, those that can able to do it and those that cannot. If you cannot, you cannot afford, that is, you don't have the means. It is not must. It's just like going to the Mecca, Hajj. If you don't have the money, nobody asks you to go and borrow money to go to Hajj. Nobody asks you to go. But it
was subsidized.
Yeah, it was.
Isn't it? Doesn't it look more like borrowing too?
If it been subsidizing it, I have never supported the subsidizing the Hajj. I was agitators against the subsidy, because in the Quran, God is saying that those who have a means and ways to go to the Hajj should go. If they didn't go, it's either they died and as a kufri or as a Nasri. So what they are saying, what exactly is there? God has not said just because Annabel has money and she is multi-billionaire, I should go and beg her to give me an opportunity to pay for me to go to Hajj. No. Some of even those who are going, okay, now you ask somebody to, you paid for someone 8 million naira to go to Hajj. And while he is owing maybe 800,000 in Nigeria, he cannot afford to pay. While his family cannot eat 3 times. How does that Hajj look like? Right. Have you listened to the governor of Niger State, Mohammed Umar Bago? He said this commission should be inscribed, should be banned, because they have just dealt with people. They have cheated the pilgrimage. They have cheated Nigeria. They have given us bad name. There is no any sign of standing for Nigerians then, after they have collected about 8 to 9 million naira.
But then the vice president has his hands on it, and he's encouraging this. So is the governor of Niger State, is he saying that
the vice president have not gone to Hajj? Has he? No, we perform our salah here with him. But the governor,
but he was one that announced the subsidy.
The subsidy, he has a right to do that, because he felt he is assisting some people who carried their money and paid for Hajj.
That means he should know better.
You understand? Yes, it's way of perception of understanding. It may read in the Bible, this is what God has said. Maybe my interpretation will not be the same with the other one. But the fact remains that I have not seen any necessary reason for somebody to be subjected in subsidizing Hajj. Right. We have food. Let them subsidize food. Let them subsidize those things that are life. If you are living, then you can go to Hajj or go to JP. You must know this.
I will bring the same question to you, Habib Gajo. If you remember in 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, where palliatives were shared or looted, let me not use shared, because in most places you had warehouses that were looted. I remember how it was. In fact, from that moment, I just did. The word palliative just tastes very distasteful in my mouth. So when I saw that video, that's the first thing that went to my mind. COVID-19 palliative and the looting of warehouses. But then someone said, this is not looting. Hungry people are taking the national cake that belongs to them. Is that what it is?
Yes. They took what belonged to them.
That means you differ from what Hassan Sardauna is saying?
Yes. It is not a criminality, like Hassan Sardauna said. It's not an act of criminality. When you subject people into hunger and poverty, starvation, wherever they see food, they take it. And there is no law that says punish a hungry man that took a food or ate a food. There is no such law. You understand? So it's not a criminality. When you subject people into harsh starvation, this thing will happen. Whether it is donation, whether it is sadaqat, whether it's zakat, you understand?
But that's not a national cake, Habib Gajo.
It's not a national cake. You understand? That meat belongs to charity, prisoners. You understand?
Right.
Those who are castrated, they cannot spend Salah with their family. You understand? Maybe you can, widows and so on. That's what I know the Tabligh under the Turkish government are doing for the past years. You understand? But I don't know they have extended to universities. There is no hunger in the universities.
How are you so sure?
I'm very sure whoever go to university, somebody must have sponsored him or he has sponsored himself. He can afford to eat maybe 2 times or once daily. Those looted the meat, you understand, or taken the meat, is those who don't have even 1 beans or rice or yam or something or gari in their houses. So it's an opportunity for them to eat. And you can't criminalize.
Are you justifying that?
I'm justifying that you can't keep people in hunger. You can't starve people and you say they will not revolt to a food. They must revolt. They must eat.
Let me put this in perspective. Let me change it.
But
now, I want to ask
Habib Gajo and tell him that the universities were used as a place to slaughter the cows and whatever, and then from there they will be taking them to different places.
University an abattoir? Let us be sincere, Hassan Sardauna. You see, my own take is that those who took that meat, you understand, is their own luck.
Luck.
It's a luck.
Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Okay, let me put it.
It's not a criminality.
Let me put this in perspective.
I want to ask
give me 1
Hassan
minute.
Sardauna, because he is a average person or a rich man, you understand, or an average. He is not a poor, middle class.
Do we still have middle class?
He's
asking.
We are the middle class. You understand?
You are the middle class.
Of his family, members of his family will never rush that meat. Definitely, he is aware of that. So whoever struggle to get that meat, he can even lose his life in getting it.
Okay. When somebody stopped his motorcycle and carried 2 head of cows and was telling the public that is his lucky, that he has gotten. Somebody that is riding a bike, of which is now about 1 million naira, is he not a thief? Why did he get the bike?
Annabel, there is people that did not slaughter or did not give zakat. You understand? For the past 7 to 8 years. You understand? We all see how our recession on endless recession. You understand? People are subjected into poverty and hunger.
Okay, we need to leave this topic because we have so many things to discuss. Let me quickly put this in perspective, because I remember you say it's their luck. And then you talked about you cannot subject people into abject poverty and ask them not to take advantage of such luck.
Not only poverty, I used a word starvation.
Starvation.
Starvation is
dangerous. So, God forbid, if your business was looted, if your house was looted, would you tell those people who looted it, or the thieves, that it is because they were subjected into poverty and starvation?
If my food was looted, I will be happy. You understand? Because I ordinarily give out. You understand? So if somebody come and loot my small bag of rice and gari and kuli, I will be happy.
Maybe
he has helped me because I have not seen. I have not seen him. I've been
the change.
Had it been I've seen him.
Operator.
You see, there is somebody that went to somebody's house. You understand? Want to beg for food, and he now saw the food, and he took the food. You understand? Like what Hassan Sardauna said. If they have what the Hizbah said, if they should have waited, all of them will get inside of rushing it. You understand? But is what the man wanted to give the food out. You understand? But the man came in and saw the food and ate the food. He said, "It belongs to you."
All right.
So that's how it is. There is nothing criminal in it. It's for sadaqah, for donation. You understand? For prisoners that has nobody to
you see,
help them and so on.
The criminals
the charity,
are very
widows,
just,
and so on.
Hadn't been they are very just and egalitarian to themselves. When you have 2 heads of cows, you could have give one to others, because 1 head of cow is enough for him to go and eat, and maybe he has 1 wife and 2, 3, 4 children. It is okay, because you can't eat meat and feel that it is like food. It is not. To be honest and sincere,
how do you know?
It has to cover.
How do you know that?
Pepper, onion, palm oil, and whatever, Maggi, and so. So putting those things together,
the firewood,
you have to buy and whatever. So what am I trying to say?
Annabel,
by the time somebody is subjected to
gave birth to almost 30 children, 40, 50, 100 children.
Why are they having 50, 40 children without a reason? We are Muslims,
the economic system has changed. You understand?
All
we
right.
are in poverty. Okay. We will not
all right.
deceive ourselves.
Gentlemen,
it's their luck. May God bless them.
Okay. So,
but while eating, they should thank the Turkish government.
Interesting. Hassan Sardauna says it's a crime, but Habib Gajo says it is their luck. Let's move to our next topic. Now you have the vice president says, and quote, protect the Sultan of Sokoto by all means. His life must be protected. Yeah, he says, and to the deputy governor of Sokoto State, I have a simple message to you. Yes, the Sultan of Sokoto, but yes, he is the Sultan of Sokoto, but he is much more than that. He represents an idea. He is an institution that all of us in this country need to jealously guard, protect, promote, preserve, and project for the growth of our nation. That's what Shetima says, because he said all of that after the executive director of Muslim Rights Council, that's Murik, Professor Ishak Akintola, raised the alarm that Sokoto government is allegedly plotting to depose the Sultan of Sokoto. Let's begin with Habib Gajo. A few minutes. What are your thoughts on this? Because I know that you always have, I will quote you, during the press, you said, and quote, you said, the vice president, Kashim Shettima, is always found in things like this, religious discrepancies like this. That's the reason why I'm bringing the question first to you.
Yeah, you see, the vice president, I think he misunderstood even the Sultan. You know, before it was a sultanate, but when democracy came in 1999, Bafarawa made a law in the state assembly and changed it from sultanate to caliphate in order to protect the Sultan. You understand? And a caliphate is being headed by a sultan. You understand? So it's like legitimizing, you understand, the sultanate as caliphate of Islam. I hope you are getting me.
Okay.
So you can't tamper with that caliphate and the sultanate. You understand? Because he represents what the vice president, quote unquote, said is an institution of ideology. You understand? Now, you can, during the military, they deposed Dasuki. That is why the Bafarawa government did that to protect it. You understand? So this political wrangling between the two factions of Ali Umaga Takada and Bafarawa Tambuwal created so many things, and even some Sokoto people are saying the Sultan is an PDP chairman. You understand? Because
interesting.
Yes, because
he
tried to
he's supposed to be political, right?
No, because he tried to mediate between Alu Magatakada and Tambuwal, and Alu Magatakada refused to honor the invitation and refused. There is a members of the committee of the reconciliation. I think the former Senator Governor Yarima Bakura of Zamfara State was member of the committee. You understand? They asked the Senator Magatakada what happened, and he can't explain what happened. You understand? So what will Sultan do? He's not a politician. He's trying to mediate.
He's supposed to be a political
subject. He's trying to mediate his own subject in order to have peace and to have good governance.
Okay, just so our viewers agree. Habib Gajo, yes. Just so our viewers they get the right information. The Sultan of Sokoto is not supposed to have any political affiliation, right?
At all.
With any political party or organization.
With any, but he can settle dispute. There is a dispute resolution mechanism. You understand?
Okay, but not to support any of them.
No, not to support any one of them. You understand? So the other part, maybe they took offense from that, so they came to power and they want to depose him or humiliate him. You understand? But thank God the Sokoto state government has responded that there is no such thing, and there is no plan to do that. You understand?
All right.
Those who raised the alarm is Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, the Secretary General, I think, I've forgotten.
Dr. Khalid.
He's the one that raised the alarm that no.
All right.
You understand? He's not an emir of Sokoto.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
He's a Sultan of Nigeria. So you have to respect that. All right.
So we're due for a break, but before we go on that break, I'd like to get Hassan Sardauna's perspective to this same story. Is it looking like, because they say no smoke without fire though? So wherever that story came out from, only God knows. So is it looking like what's happening in the Kano Emirate, Tussle?
Almost the same. The only difference is that you are dealing with a caliphate, as my brother has stated. And whatever the reasons behind that, we have already reached a peak, a situation whereby politicians have taken over even the traditional palaces by trying to infiltrate it. I could remember during his governor, Saminu Ibrahim, Saminu Turaki, he wanted at all costs, because he is answering Ibrahim Saminu Turaki. Turaki is not a title, it's just a name of one of their maybe grandfather. So he took it upon him that he must be a turban as a Turaki of Kazaure. So because of that, and Turaki nobody can be named Turaki or Turban Turaki in Kazaure Emirate, unless a son or a grandson, you have a blood of emirship. That is that Emirate. You understand what I'm saying? So it seems from those type of times, days, we started seeing this type of hulubalo in the traditional homes in northern Nigeria. So for that reason, they have to remove Turaki out of the kingmakers. You can be a Turaki and be a kingmaker, and the only thing that is entitled to be having that title in Kazaure Emirate, you must be a son, and then you will be a kingmaker. So being him a son of nobody, he has nothing to attach to the emirateship. So they have to remove that name and brought another one. So you see, it is a kind of inflicting into the traditional culture by some of our politicians or governors. Coming down to Kano, Kano is something subject to very big and crisis.
You're going to hold your thoughts. Let's go on a quick break. When we return from that break, you continue from where you just landed. I'll see you after this time out. Do join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation, reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. So if you just joined us, you've actually missed out on the first part of the show, but then you can still join as we'll take our next topic, and we're discussing the Kano Emirate Tussle. We'll also look at the Northwest Security Summit. But my guest on the show today, we have two guests, and my first guest is Hassan Sardauna, who is a public affairs analyst, and I also have Habib Gajo, who is a political economist and a very other change operator. All right, before we went on that break, we've actually made some very salient point, and you were almost dovetailing to my next topic. That's the Kano Emirate Tussle. So that's before I cut short some of the you were talking about the history, about the districts, trying to merge it with the Sultanate. Land on your thoughts.
So what am I trying to say? The differences between that of Kano and that Sultanate are two things. Sultanate is the head of traditional council in Nigeria, which when you put it in line, they are the first, then Gwandu, El Kanam of Borno, then Kano is the fourth. But subject to Kano as entirety, in Kano State, the present Kano has 44 local government, and each 41 local government has a district, head of district. And this district heads, they are answerable to a single emir. So also when you go to Sokoto, in what we are having here in Kano is this: the history of the crisis is on and off. In the older Kano, we have Kazaure Emirate, we have Gumel, we have Hadeja, we have Ringim, and then Kano. But before the colonization, that is before the colonization, we have Karae as an emirate, Rano, and even Gaya. So the newly created ones it is only Bichi that there was never an emirate. So the history is there. But the fact remains that when you look at what happened later in the day, is a kind of aspect of to develop and bring people closer to governance. That is the essence of creating those other emirates during the last stewardship of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Quite okay, there was a crisis. They alleged the emir then was going on talking anyhow and bastardizing the culture and norms and values of
which emir
traditional.
Are you referring to here now?
Yes, that is Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. And then they accuse him.
Did you just say he was talking anyhow?
Yes, that was one of the accusations, that they was talking even to the matters that are not concern him, or by being an emir. That is the importance of being an emir. You are an authority. You don't talk anyhow. They accuse him about they allege him of 5 things, and they present a query letter, which I think he did not answer, and they reminded him. He refused to answer. They said they would take necessary action, and they depose him. So whatever the reason, now a history is another page again. When the new governor came, they were saying, the part of the new governors are saying new governor, new emir. That means automatically they will going to remove maybe the emirs that are there, which they succeeded or they have done it. On the process of trying to do that, then somebody among the emirate went to the court and have an injunction to stop the governor from doing what he wanted to do. But the governor ignored the court injunction and went ahead and announced a new emir and abolished the other 4 emirates. And these are the disputes that are going on in Kano. And up to till date, if you listen to the last statement of the Judge Liman, he was saying that there should be remain on status quo before the announcement of what we call the removal of Aminu Ado Bayero. And the two people are now occupying two palaces. The main palace and the second palace built by the Sarki Abbas about 200 to 400 years back in Nasarawa. So that is where Aminu is staying. And all of them, they are given protection. The other one was using Andaba and hunters. But now they have sent them away and they put police to protect Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. But this one already have been protected by police and whatever from their own. So taking that of Sokoto, Sokoto is talking, we are talking about reducing the weight, the strength of the Sultanate. He is only the person that have right to bring you as a district head without anybody involvement, only by his kingmakers, that is his council, to determine who will going to be this, who will going to be that. But now in Sokoto, what they are trying to do is to stop him. It is only governor has a right to bring a new district head, which is contrary to the culture and norms of a tradition of Sultanate and any emirship in Nigeria. So for that reason, that is a signal showing that they want to remove him or dethrone him. And that was why the Murik, under the leadership of Professor Isiak, made that press release day before yesterday. And I think subject to that, the vice president was yesterday at Katsina, the Northwest Regional Government Summit on security matters, where he came out, he said it, and he talked to the deputy governor that this message is a simple message that he will be taken to, I think, his governor, that he should know that the Sultan is not just a Sultan of Sokoto, but not just an ordinary Sultan. He is much more than that, because he's a person of ideology. That is the Sultanate of an idea. We need to project, protect, develop, and others, whatever he mentioned. And I think by so doing, he is helping matters by trying to avoid, because other states that are around those areas might have the same face, because most of the governors, they are new governors, taken from Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Zamfara.
But do they have the right to?
They have the right,
but state governor. Those other states you mentioned, they also have the right to.
They have the right to remove some of theirs, because maybe they inherited some people. If you go by what is happening in Kaduna State, Ubasani is now fighting with his predecessor. That is Nasru El-Rufai. And remember that Nasru El-Rufai is the one who brought what his name, the emir of Zaria, Zazzau now. That is Ahmad Jafar, the present emir. And I think you know the tussle that have took place before he was announced.
Right.
It took them almost 3 months with the name of, even he is going back to go into his books so that he have an idea what to say and what not to say before pronouncing the Ahmad as an emir of Zazzau. So when you allow this thing to continue without intervening from the national central government, I think a lot of damages will going to happen. And that will not be good for us, especially from people who believe in the traditional rulers helping the growth of and development of communities in Nigeria.
Okay, so before I take the question to Habib Gajo, I'm going to ask you a question based on what, taking a cue from what you said. You talked about the fact that you now have the former, you now have Sanusi, Emir Sanusi Lamido, who is still there, protected, and you also have Ado Bayero, who is still there, protected. And I remember that during the Salah celebration, both of them actually had, it was like a union that they had at that point, where they had, was it the prayer or the meeting that they had at some point during this last Salah? So my question is it possible, since you actually had 4 emirates under one emir, is it possible to at least have both of them still stay in Kano?
Okay, I don't know what precisely, but let me put it like this. If you are talking about both of them being in Kano, yes. If there will going to be 2 emirs in Kano, maybe Kano South and Kano North, they can call it like that. I don't know, it can be. But when you are talking about only Kano, one person must be the emir of Kano. And the court will be the only place to make clear of all this
But
doubt.
at the moment, you have both of them.
Yes,
So is it possible to
because
continue?
the stay of execution, the one has a power of maybe support from the state government,
Right.
and maybe the other one have a support from the federal government. And if such is going, you see, what we are afraid of is the break of law and order. And that was lingering in Kano. I stayed for almost 11 days. I just came in day before yesterday. So I knew what I have seen, and I saw a lot of things that are worrisome and disturbance. But thank God the people of Kano State, they felt that with the situation in Nigeria, where everybody is trying to have a 3 daily meals, I think that one is enough for them to take care of, rather than having issues to discuss about Emir or not Emir in Kano State.
Oh.
So I happen to be one of them who think, no, I'm a human being. I must have someone in my mind based on the analysis and the reasons what I knew behind it. And I can go against one of them. It is the same. I don't want to say it in the public, but maybe in times when those who knows me, knows who I have. I know I will tell you, I have Aminu Adobairo. I sympathize with him because he's not a trouble man. He's not troublesome naturally.
Directly
he doesn't
saying
talk.
that Sanusi is a troublemaker.
He's a troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. Well, even when he was in the bank,
that's a defamation
I could
of his
remember.
character.
And it can be. When I say trouble, I don't know how will you call it, how will you see it. But he was talking beyond my thinking. When I am a Kano man by citizenship, by citizenry, you will understand that. He told me that he told our wives, if you slap your wife, she should slap you back. I think an emir should not say this. He is the same person who came out and said that those children that were stolen by some people, if he is imposed, he hadn't been the government, he could have punished the parents of those children that were stolen by, from them. The same person, I think, if I could remember vividly, there is one boy, Yellow, that came in. After he came back, a lady followed him down to Kano. And later he was the one who gave the marriage to the boy. And later he took the boy and handed it over to Bayelsa government for prison. The boy just was released last year. And I felt, what am I trying to say? Well, he was the chairman of economic body of a governance. What he can able to see to meet the governor and discuss. Instead, he will come to the public and make announcement. It's something that subject that I can see you in person and discuss with you. Instead of that, I came to the television or in the public and I aired my mind that you are not a good person. You don't have capacity. You this and that. I think. Shouldn't you call me a trouble person? Because I have a chance to talk to you. I have a right. I am equal to that tax. So it is not something subject to whether I hate him. No. When I say trouble, I just felt he is talking too much. Not like an emir that I normally know from a history bin.
All right. Habib Gajo, Hassan Sardauna says, or reminds us the fact that an emir, that cloth that used to cover his mouth or their mouth is symbolizes that you're not supposed to talk too much. You're supposed to be cultured or have courtesy when you talk. But according to him, he says Sanusi talks too much. That's what he said. And then 2 questions I'm going to ask you. Do you agree with everything that he has said? That's 1. And then 2, you help us analyze this very, very quickly so that we can take our last topic. Are there conflict resolution mechanisms other than the court, other than going to the executive governor or the executives or the judiciary? Because if you have traditional institutions or religious institutions, if there's a conflict, there should be resolution mechanisms either from the traditional institution or from the religious angle. Are there other institutions that could resolve it out of court?
Yes, there is. And firstly, I totally disagree with my elder brother Hassan Sardauna, because he's talking from a biased perspective.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, if you are going to analyze it objectively, remove sentiment apart. We all know the whole world know, Nigerians knows how monarchical system of government is being run. You understand? And monarchical institutions are being run. You take it from the Queen of England. We have seen a lot of crises from Diana to Charles, from Charles to the son of the grandson of the, who even defied the royal family and packed out of Buckingham Palace and traveled to America, married. You understand? In Netherlands, the same thing. I think it's the son of the king married a black woman, a black American. It became an issue. You understand? In Saudi Arabia, we have the crown prince who is been in charge. You understand? While his father is alive, and they said he don't take advice. He decide on his own. You understand? Like he claims Sunusi talked too much. They said the crown prince also talked too much. So are you going to keep quiet while your land, your subordinate are
only
going?
That you must know that the system of Saudi are monarchical.
I'm coming. You understand? And any system, you understand, of government must have rules and regulations. You understand? Now, in Nigeria, the way the colonial masters has taken charge of the royal institution or traditional institutions, you understand, and make it indirect rule and so on and so forth, make them exposed to how the runnings of government or westernization and civilization, you understand. So after the constitution, the independence and the abolishment of the regional government by 1966 coup and local government reforms of 1974 to 79, and also the constitution of 1979 in Lagos.
All right.
You understand? The rules and regulations that govern the traditional ruler, you understand, is what we call Emirate Council. You understand? And Emirate Council is under the local government council. You understand? Now called local government areas. You understand? In the sense that is based on locality, grassroots and locality. You understand? Because the traditional rulers, they are the fathers of the land. They are the owners of the land. Now, what is happening in Kano is, it has happened before. There is a precedent when Abubakar Rimi did that, and Sabo Bakinzo came and repealed that law and maintained a status quo and abolish those Emirate Council that were created by the then government of Abubakar Rimi, and retain Ado Bayero as a sole administrator, emir of Kano State. Now, and that's continued until when Sunusi Lamido became a governor. I became a emir, and Ganduje became a governor. You understand? He said he talked too much. How will you expect a emir, a king, who is a technocrat, who is a bureaucrat, who is intellectually wise and advanced, you invite him to Kaduna for they call it Progressive Governors Forum in 2016. And you ask him to talk. And he talked. He advised. He said this current foreign exchange policy, the subsidizing of dollar and petroleum, is making few people rich and making many people poorer. Secondly, he now said if the governors, progressive governors and Buhari did not stand up and work or take charge of their economy, they will call Jonathan government better than Buhari government. The peak offense, somebody who you invite all the way from Kano, and he told you the truth, and he gave you a roadmap, and you said he talked too much.
Which true today, the dollar is 1,400. It almost reached 200,000.
You have your own say. You allow the majority to take our own way. You understand? So when the Kano State governor went to borrow $1 billion to do underground subways and overhead bridges,
rail
line and so on and so forth, he said, no,
not on the bridge.
This is not what a poor people want. What a poor people want is to improve the economy, bring a better life, put the school in order, hospitals, and so on. These almajiris that are roaming around, get them a place. Let us stop building mosques. The mosques, we have built mosques enough. Let us build Islamia, where they will learn their own religion. You understand? And learn also education.
But then, Habib Gajo, how much did it? I remember, I think it was during Jonathan era.
Yeah.
How much did that even do? Trying to take those almajiris out of the streets.
Yes, it has gone a long way, but the government of Buhari stopped it. You understand? So the governor, he now gave that advice. Let recruit and put these children, these almajiris children in a classroom. Rather than government will remove its money and build mosques with government money, and there is a mosque everywhere, 1-2 meters, there is a mosque. Now, like just what you...
The government that is wait, I'm coming. Has Almajiri and out of school commission. He should know that they should not stop it. They have not stopped it.
Yes.
I know the schools that are still existing up to date.
Whatever is part of the development. You understand?
No, you should withdraw the statement of he stopped it. The Buhari government has not stopped it.
He stopped the funding now?
No. It has even commissioned and even added an out of school children. I know the founder of the out of children program is a present state governor, state secretary to the government from one of the states in the south.
You have said what you have said.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry.
You understand? So, and you call that man talk too much?
Yes.
Now, you enact another law and created the Emirates and remove the Emir Sunusi Lamido. You understand? Now, another government came and said, no, that law must be repealed and status quo must be maintained. And they enacted the law and they returned Sunusi Lamido. Before they returned, before the letter of appointment and coronation, they ran to Federal High Court, which Federal High Court, all of us knows what is Federal High Court, while the state government are in High Court, State High Court. They are in a coordinate jurisdiction, but the Federal High Court is to interpret. But the judge did not interpret the law properly. He now it's just a miscarriage.
How would you accuse the judge of not interpreting a law accurately?
Yes, because in the sense that you said that a governor has a right. You understand?
The same federal court, he went and got that very manifestos of not being deposed at a local or away letter. He was given
a
mandate to go
fundamental
to.
human right.
That is why this man is accusing the governor that has deprived him his fundamental right. He's not talking about the other side of where the state high court will be discussed.
Now,
that is the discussion.
When you have your time, why didn't you express this? That is why I said you are coming from a biased mind. You understand? A federal high court is to interpret the law. And when you go to federal high court and said, my own fundamental human right has been breached, then the high court will now restore or maintain for order or restore your fundamental human right. You understand? Is in the constitution. You understand? But what affects the law that was made by the state assembly can never be returned by any court of law. One. Secondly, the governor has the power to appoint another emir. Thirdly, the judge said because the governor disobeyed his order, restraining order, you understand, before to hear the matter on 24th of and he now, then what the judge is saying, and the same judge said they should wait for the appeal. Why the federal the state high court has not ruled. The day the state high court ruled, Aminu Ado Bayero and co, they will know that they are not, and Nigerians will know that the federal high court is the one that has absolute jurisdiction in the matters of the state and the Attorney General of the state.
All right.
That's what it is.
All right.
Now,
Habib,
yes.
Our time is fast spent. We need to go. Our time is fast spent, and we need to let the next program come in. So let's leave this matter. I think we'll have to come back again. It looks like a matter that will always continue to fester. We need to always come back to
I already finished with the emir. I want to delve into what happened in Katsina, the jamboree that happened in Katsina.
Okay, in 1 minute, please.
In the name of peace security.
In 1 minute, please help us. The Northwest Security Summit.
Security Summit.
Is that actually going to ameliorate the security challenge in Nigeria?
It's not going to address any challenges because all the governors did not attend. Only 2 governors attend, Zamfara and Jigawa State. And let me tell you, if they really want to secure and make peace in the northwestern Nigeria or northern Nigeria, they should do what Governor Sule Lamido did in Jigawa State, that Jigawa has peace for 2 decades now without any trouble. But these people refuse to send their deputies to represent.
So this is just one of those
to represent them.
Or symposiums.
It's a symposium like the one they went to Kigali and London. It's the same thing. It's just like they are killing people in Palestine, Syria, and United Nations Security Council are sitting down talking rubbish. People are being killed. It's just like that. We need a roadmap. Let them come clearly. This is what they are going to do to tackle the menace. There is no insurgency in the Northwest. There is no terrorism in the Northwest. What we have in the Northwest is criminals and bandits and kidnappers. You understand? This thing need to be addressed. The way you are going to address it is 2-way. Is based on farmers and herders and communal clashes and disputes of lands. If you do that, you made peace in the whole northern Nigeria. That's what it is.
Habib Gajo, political economist and Bureau the Change Operator, thank you so much for your time with us. And Hassan Sardauna, Public Affairs Analyst. It's always a pleasure having these discussions with you.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. It has been a pleasure, most definitely. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you must have been rightly. I'm sure you must have been rightly educated, entertained, and informed. It's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. Keep watching The Conversation. Keep watching KAFTAN Television, and I will see you next time. My name is Annabel Orji. God bless you and yours. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Amen.
Good morning.